Well, this week is the last week where I'm going to try to actually nail Rory's swing. And so we have a lot of work to do because I'm going to show you here. See, we are at the end of this first phase here. Not the end, the first two cycles, which were mainly about building the skill foundation. Well, because in this year-long journey of actually reaching to be able to reach 130 miles per hour, the very beginning of this year was just about foundation. And so I've changed pretty much everything in my swing to get closer and closer to Rory's swing, since at the beginning my swing looked a little bit like Rory's, and so I figure that probably he's doing something better than I do, since he's way better than I am. Anyway, so we made some really great progress. So what I want to do is, before we dive into the weekly recap, showing you every detail and so on about this week, I want first to start with the analysis of actually Rory's swing. So because what I want to actually do is see until, so let's put it that way. I have 3 days left to nail the details. Yesterday and Saturday was all about wrist setting, and yesterday was all about the top of the backswing. Still a little bit of detail, but I think now I'm done with that. So because basically what I'm going to do is each day focus on one thing, get it done, move on. Because just let's come back on the plan. You see that here the next phase, let's put it a little bigger for you, maybe even bigger. Yeah, let's do that like this. Okay, so here you can see that this is mainly going to be a stabilization phase. Since I've changed a lot of stuff during the last 2 months, here to be able to prepare for the next cycle that is coming, I need to stabilize and get more comfortable with the new motion that I have and understand how to generate speed. And so I'm going also to start working with a speed stick, but only one, just to kind of translate my normal swing into a speed stick swing. And so this is a period of stabilization. No more test. Here I've been testing a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff, trying to figure it out and so on. But whatever I come up at the end of this week will be the swing that I will carry on, not necessarily for the rest of my career, but until the end of the year. Of course, I'm going to be to do some minor adjustments and so on as we go on, because I'm going to get more comfortable with the technique. But I have to nail down the details. So as I told you, reset 90 degrees. So here, because this video was about actually, let's pull off the video before. Normally I think, yeah. So that was it. For this day where I was actually focusing only on setting the wrist, I found how to get it done, and you see, perfectly done. So that's great. That's the first good thing, that we have validated how to set the wrist. So that's great. That's the first good point. Now, next day we had actually worked on the top of the backswing. So it's not perfect. Actually, I haven't chosen the best swing possible. I had a lot of better swing, I believe, during the session, but at least I understand exactly what I need to do. So, and also I think on this swing especially, that wasn't that good because I didn't set the wrist really well. But I really felt, okay, when I'm at the top of the swing, I need to really use the pressure on my right side and rotate my shoulder as much as I possibly can to keep the arm as much as I possibly can to the right, trying to flat out the club by externally rotating my right arm, but also kind of almost the two arms are doing like this, where this arm is actually trying to keep the club more vertical by creating the left side bend and so on, and by actually externally rotating the arm that actually extend it. So that's what's going to allow me to extend my arm. And then on the other side as well, it's going to enable me to extend the arm, but that's not really the key here. The key is to not get too much across the line and get the club set on the right plane. And so when you do that, you rotate your shoulder and you really give a lot of pressure on the right leg to stay wide and keep the club as far away as possible. in just one session, I kind of struggled to actually get it done because I need a little bit of practice. I believe it's not necessarily just the understanding that is wrong or what. I think it's more about me practicing the motion. Also, I've been during this session I was working a little bit on the down the line view, where actually I saw a little bit of fusing with the hips to actually set the wrist without moving my hips too much around. So that was something. So anyway, what I was really happy, as I said, this swing is not the best swing because since I set it the wrist too late, then the left arm started bending a little too much. But the only difference that really stand out to me is the fact that my hands are kind of lower. But here's what I've been thinking is maybe that's just a camera angle thing. Maybe the camera that I'm using is actually lower than the one that we are seeing with Rory. Maybe the one that was filming Rory was kind of a little bit much higher. It seems that the camera that was kind of filming Rory was probably to that height, and mine is about the level of my hips. So maybe that's only the issue. I don't know, but I think I kind of have the core foundation. Now I need to kind of keep going, keep working at it, and really nail the detail over time. But I think that's still a win, and we can move on to the next phase, which is going to come tomorrow, where I'm going to work on my nemesis, which is this position, where I have my right elbow here that is going way too down compared to Rory's, where he actually his right elbow is kind of flying a little bit at that point. So for me, now that I've understood, because I wasn't working on it actually at that point, I made a commitment to just stick to the backswing position, keep the backswing position, and I've made a lot of good swing were made during that session with very nice top of backswing position. So I'm really happy about that. Now, how do I get into that FN position? Pretty much. See, since now I'm doing this motion on the way back, what I'm thinking is on the way down, I cannot do the opposite. Maybe I cannot just try to keep the right elbow high. I need probably to kind of actually rotate it externally, and that will make sense because if both arms are like this, until now I was kind of driving my right elbow down in order to be able to kind of shallow the club. But if I do that, then the left arm has to come inside to compensate the fact that I'm getting too flat, or I was doing kind of both, but then this creates right side bend, which I don't want. So anyway, what I'm thinking is, okay, I'm in that position at the top of the backswing. Maybe I can shallow the club using the left arm and kind of compensate to avoid shallowing too much with the right arm and actually get both arms kind of externally rotated to start the downswing, which I believe maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking. But that's honestly, this motion is going to be probably the biggest issue, the biggest milestone. If I can't get it done tomorrow, that's going to be insane. That's going to be insane. Then, because I only have 3 days, to be honest. That's why there is only three positions: the transition, the downswing, and the release. On the next 3 days, I actually need to get each of those done and nail them down. So here, what I'm thinking more is about this position on the way down. But this here is where it's going to be confusing after tomorrow for the downswing and release. Is probably those two motions are really linked. So I might not, maybe I can get to kind this position. Maybe I should focus more on getting down to this position, really having a lot of lag at that point, and then the release. That's kind of what I'm thinking. And then yes, this is really about maintaining the lag all the way until impact as much as possible, getting to a nice delivery position. There is quite a few things that I've understood, but we'll see that when I'm there. But yeah, that's very challenging here. We have a lot of things to work on, and yeah, I can't wait to do it because well, I think I've pretty much everything. Now it's just about putting everything together and being able to nail those down. So anyway, let's come back to the weekly recap. So let's first start with the speed overview. So now I was working a lot on different things. So the speed was kind of okay at the beginning, and that's why we are going to talk about that as well. I started getting my fatigue was starting to get out of control. That's also maybe an issue of that maybe me the main issue, because you see it's 137 ball on that day plus a 5 or 6 hole on the golf course. On this day I also did golf course and it's 77 balls plus the workout after. Well, yeah, I mean, but that's also because I start getting tired of doing the same thing over and over, and so I start fucking things around by actually getting off track. I think that's just because with the dieting I'm starting getting really tired. So yeah, I think it's and also given what I felt today, I think that's just a good idea to call it to stop the dieting for now. I haven't reached my goal. To be honest, that's a failure. I'm not gonna lie, that's a failure. I wanted to reach 10%. I'm after weighing myself this morning, I'm at 12.6%, maybe a little lower because if I get back to 61 kilogram of muscle, maybe the body fat percentage is going to drop. Okay, I failed, but when we take things in perspective, I still lost about 7% of body fat. I think because it's about again 1.5 kilogram of muscle, yes, 1.3, and I lost 4.5. Let's actually this minus this 4.4, and so if we add the equal that plus that I believe that minus. Okay, so a total of 5.7 kilograms of fat lost. If we that's already a big win. To be honest, that's not. But what I see for next year, because that was the first year when I was doing that. So in order to get back to a 10% body fat, yeah, at the end of the year I should not get above 17%. Even 15% is kind of where I would want to be. 17 is really the hard limit, not getting over it. Because 19% was way too high to get started with. 19.4 to lose that many weight in that short period of time, that's just too much. So I need to never to try to finish the year not above between 15 and 70%, 17% being a hard limit where I have to not go above that to be able to then come back to 10%. Anyway, so yes, next year that's kind of what I'm learning and what I will apply next year. But still, that's a big win. That's a big win. That I would have preferred to reach my goal of 10%, but I mean that was an arbitrary goal, to be honest. I didn't know if that was realistic or not, or whether or not I could actually pull it off. But what I'm more proud of is the fact that I didn't lose a single pound of muscle, a single kilogram of muscle during so, and even gain. I believe that this is because I wasn't really serious about the protein check and the creatine for the last week. That's why I kind of lost a little here. But anyway, So yeah, that's so far so good. That's a little bit disappointed, but I get that's okay. That's not that big of a deal. Not that big of a deal. Anyway, so that's pretty much this week is going to wrap up the full build cycle. Even though here I put 1 week. Maybe I could actually do. Yeah, up. Tag here is going to be taper. So since I don't actually have a competition, I'm not actually participating to the master. This going instead of an actual taper, this is going to be mainly about just reducing fatigue, consolidating the technique, getting more comfortable with it. Stop changing anything, just repeating the same thing over and over, reducing the fatigue due to dieting, consolidating the gains that I made in the gym, because that's also something I wanted to share with you here. I made some good progress in the gym, so mainly 1 plate. That's also the win that I did during this dieting phase. Actually, I've been able to gain strength, because if we come back to where I started here, so heavy squat was 140. Okay, that was for 5, but 160 for 1, 120. So yeah, I was kind of in between plates, and here I actually pull off a full plate on top. So here we are at 4 plates on the heavy squat. On the normal squat, 4 plate plus 10 kilograms. Heavy bench, 3 plates plus 10 kilograms. Light bench, I officially passed and validate my 100 kilogram, 225, 2 plates on the bench. So that's awesome. And heavy deadlift, 4 full plate, validate as well. Despite, and that's what is insane. All of that, I've been able to make those progress despite of the dieting phase. So what is really going to be happening here is I'm not going to try to push strength too much at that point. I'm just going to try to validate, being more comfortable, doing a little bit more reps with those plates that have been added, with the maximum amount of plates that I'm able to do. So then when I actually come back to a new build, to the new cycle here, where I'm going to really active, try to push strength, gain speed, and so on, I will be able to, because my body will have adapt. Here, the goal is really to stabilize, regain energy, reduce fatigue, and so on. That's it. And also, I'm going to work a lot, as I told you. As I told you, I'm going to work with actually starting using the blue speed stick, which is actually the intermediate. So you have the light, which is the green on the super speed sticks. You have the green that is the lighter one, the red that is the heavy one, and the blue that is kind of in middle. Even though it's slightly lighter than the driver, that comes the one that is the closer to the driver. So what I'm going to do is, since that at the end of this week, I will have decided, okay, this is the technique I'm going with, and I'm going to stick with it no matter what. If it's absolutely close to Rory's swing, awesome. If it's not, well, I guess that's my swing from now on. And so I'm going to just use that stick and try to really build a synergy between my swing and my swing with the speed stick, to really be able to, when I do a discovery, when I train with the speed stick, I'm actually able to apply it with my swing, because that was kind of the main issue that I was struggling in the past every time I use the speed stick. So yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, the reason why I'm calling off the dieting phase, even though I wanted to do the last week here, is, first of all, I'm leaving on Friday, so there are only 3 days. And also, I saw that the level of fatigue that I was starting to build was starting to get unreasonable and out of control. And also, when I see the hunger that I start feeling today, because just the fact that I'm kind of relaxing my mind, okay, I'm not on a diet anymore, the hunger, the deep desire to eat food start rising up, because I was kind of denying that, putting that aside. I'm not even thinking about it. And so I think it's good that this week I start regulate all of that, getting back to a normal diet, stopping the deficit. Because if I do that when I actually go skiing, First of all, with the amount of food that we are going to eat, that could be getting really quickly out of control, and I could really gain weight very fast, which is not what I want. I've been putting a lot of effort to lose it, so I don't want to put on more fat very quickly. So having an appetite that is much regulated is, I think, a very good thing. And also, I don't want to go skiing being extremely fatigued by the diet, and because I'm not going skiing to get injured, and so that's the last thing I want to do. So if actually calling off my diet 1 week earlier to get everything under control, reduce the fatigue, and being ready to go skiing and enjoy it and not risking being injured, I think that's the most important thing. Anyway, so yeah, I think that's it for today. So this week is really about that. I need to nail every detail. Tomorrow is about the transition. We are going to first, of course, review the reset, the top of the backswing position. Of course, we are going to review that to make sure they are nailed. And then once they are nailed, we are going to focus on the transition. And as I said in the last session, doesn't matter if it takes 30 balls or 300 balls. I will stay there for as long as necessary or as short as necessary. Because if I push through more, once I have understood what I need to do, if I start pushing too much ball after that, then I'm going to start thinking about the rest of the swing and so on, and start forgetting about the things that I have understood, and even maybe start doubting what I've understood. So I don't want that. I want to do it, validate it, accept that this is the way I'm going to do things from now on, and move on. And so yes, but I'm really looking forward to that session, because we are going to work on my biggest issue, my right elbow that is going down, and if I can fix that, that's going to be already a massive win. So thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.